Hi, I'm Jason Ball,
I'm Matt Pivarnik.
and we are here in Lincoln at the AOI Podcast Studio at the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce with, I think, a fun podcast episode, something just a little bit unusual. Matt, do you want to tell them what we're cooking up together?
Sure. So, Matt, with the Greater Topeka Partnership, Jason and I have been talking for a long time about getting Topeka and Lincoln together on some kind of a formal basis so that we can learn from one another. And as we're sitting around brainstorming, one of the things that came up is, what if Lincoln and Topeka got together and went somewhere together? And that's really never been done in the United States before. So we're really looking forward to it. I'll let Jason, he's such a good researcher with our team. I'll let him talk a little bit about where we're planning to go.
Well, we looked about 7 or 8 different communities across the nation to see what were the themes that we wanted to learn about, what were cities that we felt like we could learn something from together. And we really arrived at Boise, Idaho. And if you've looked at the rise of Boise over the past, say, 2 decades, they've seen economic growth. They've seen growth in their philanthropy community. Their community assets continue to be invested in. And I think in a lot of ways that are relevant to what we're trying to do here at the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure in Topeka. Matt, your strategic plan was led by a company that we share in common as well.
Absolutely. Broad Ripple.
Yeah. And through the Broad Ripple process, I know that a lot of those same themes that we're looking at have come out. Yeah. So we're here to invite everybody to join us this July 16 through 19 in Boise, Idaho. And you'll want to go to topekalincoln.com to register. Again, topekalincoln.com. The cost for attending on the trip is $1,800. That includes most of your meals, all of your hotel. The only thing you'll need to pay for in addition to that is your airfare to get there. But Matt, what are you hoping people will experience on a trip like this?
I'll just start by saying I'm super pumped about doing this. It's pretty unique. So a lot of communities, a lot of chambers do intercity visits, right? And we sort of call it leaving the island so that you can go learn from other people, bring ideas back. But the fact that Lincoln and Topeka get to go together, we have a lot of topics we're going to want to study, right? And for us, like, we're very intrigued by river development and downtown development, housing, and the Lincoln Chamber and the Topeka Chamber and Topeka Partnership actually spent some time really leaning into different topics. But I promise you, between now and July, there's going to be a lot of topics that bubble up that people are really going to want to lean in and study. I will say this: work will be done. Ideas will be brought back to your community. In 10 years, people in Lincoln are going to be saying, you know why this was so successful? Because of that trip to Boise when we went to Topeka. I talked to a Lincoln leader today that said that she actually went with a group to Charlottesville. And I don't know if you know this, but she feels like that trip to Charlottesville was the beginning of the Manufacturers Council in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. I mean, if she said, had we not gone to Charlottesville, I'm not sure we'd have a Manufacturers Council in Lincoln right now. So those are the things that we're going to go roll up our sleeves. But the other thing that's going to happen is camaraderie. Yeah. We're going to have business leaders. We're going to have elected officials that are going to build relationships and probably do business with one another, but at the very least have friends. We're 2 hours and 45 minutes from one another. Yeah. So we'll have relationships, friends, business relationships, and really comrades in the Midwest that we're going to be able to just work together. It's going to, the fruits of this labor are going to pay off for a long time. Yeah. I think everybody should go. That's my opinion.
I couldn't agree more, Matt. For folks that maybe haven't heard of trips like this, in our industry, we call them intercity visits, and they're very common. It's very common for chambers as organizations to lead delegations to go and learn from other cities. Yeah. And maybe you've been able to experience or see those, or maybe not. But what is truly unique about this model, as far as we can tell, is we can't find where 2 chambers from cities our size in different states have gone to a third similarly sized or larger city in a completely different state. And so usually you get the benefit of going to one other location and learning and having all those great interactions with that one group. Here we're doubling down. This is a 2-for deal, I think, in terms of the experience and ideas that we will be able to exchange and the relationships we'll be able to build.
Right. The other thing too is, we really do need to go and roll up our sleeves and work and learn. But at the same time, that camaraderie I talked about. But Lincoln's actually a pretty cool place. I think Lincoln.
We like to think so.
Yeah, Lincoln's a cool place. And Lincoln's a cool place. We're going, but Boise? like we would go on vacation in Boise, right? So we're going to be able to go and work and learn, but also be in a really cool city that has some phenomenal growth and some great things going on. So that's a little bit of the sizzle. The steak is the work that we're going to do while we're there. The sizzle is, I think most of us would probably go on a vacation to Boise, so it should be a good time.
Let me walk through the itinerary and tell everybody what to expect. So July 16 is going to be our travel day. So people will be kind of up to their own schedule to get there, and we'll have a small informal gathering that night, sort of as people are arriving at our hotel where we've got the hotel block. And then the next day, we're going to have some combined sessions. We're going to have some elected officials come and speak and welcome us, and I think from several communities that are involved in this trip. And we're going to be excited to hear from them and learn about how they have interacted in the past. And then we're going to be able to split off in the afternoon and go on several different tracks. So I mentioned there's going to be some economic development tracks. There's going to be a philanthropy track. The next day, there's going to be a review of some community assets like libraries and parks and things like that for people that want to look at that. And then there will even be an add-on feature for that second night if people are interested in going on a winery tour, because they have wine country out in Boise, and it's very, very popular out there. And that's additional if you want to choose to add that onto your package. And so my point is we're going to cover a lot of territory. This is not just about politics and public policy, but there'll be some of that. This is not just about economic growth and community assets, but there's going to be some of that. The topic spaces are going to be really fascinating, I think, for anybody that is looking to work in their community and build it and make it better. Matt, tell me more. You said everybody should come.
Yeah.
Tell me more about who you guys have had come on previous trips for Topeka.
I was just thinking university leadership will definitely be there. I would be surprised if the president of our university is not there with leadership. Our elected officials, CEOs, a lot of C-level people from the organization, but we also will have young professionals that will attend, and we'll have entrepreneurs that will attend. And it will be a very diverse crowd from Topeka, and I think from Lincoln as well. And so, and the thing is like I got to participate in a Lincoln Chamber board meeting today. I'm already envisioning visit Lincoln and visit Topeka actually, and visit Boise actually getting together and having their own sidebars. Yeah. Same with economic development. Same with government affairs. I will say this: I think that the mayor of Lincoln and the mayor of Topeka are already friends. They will be really good friends by the end of this, and they'll also have that friend in the Boise mayor. And so you're just going to you will see a lot of learning and a lot of work happening, but at the same time, it's a pretty joyous occasion, and it's a little bit tiring too. And we try to wear ourselves out because we don't want to go on a boondoggle, right? We're actually going to try to all three make our cities better. Yeah. And Boise's super excited that we're coming.
For folks that have not been to Boise or maybe haven't done the research or looked into it, it's a really unique community. They're wedged in between a river and the foothills of a mountain range there. And that's only about probably 2 miles distant from each other by the time you go from one to the other. And so their topography is really fun. They have made a lot of investments, in particular in their downtown, and that's been led by economic growth. They've had an unprecedented run in the past 2 decades of companies moving there and expanding there. I know that each of our communities have some businesses that have had some shops or teams there at different times. And so it's a really exciting economy. We talk a lot in Lincoln about vibrancy, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're in a community that is economically vibrant and growing, you can kind of just feel it. And that is definitely what we're going to experience in Boise this summer.
All capital cities, all university towns. Yeah. I mean, I'm very excited for you and for me, for the two of us to actually get to know the new CEO of the Boise Chamber. She looks very well connected. Maybe she could get the governor to come visit us because
we may be working on that. Yeah, stay tuned.
You never know. Yeah. No promises. Yeah. Don't cut that out though, just in case.
I love it. So again, I just want to encourage everybody. If this sounds interesting to you, if you want to learn more, if you have a friend that talks with you about, boy, I want to grow this community, or I want to get involved in different ways, this is a great way to find out more about it. So go to TopekaLincoln.com. Again, that's TopekaLincoln.com. All our registration information and sponsorship information is there. And if you're a business that's listening to this and has an interest in a sponsorship, we have several sponsorship packages. So if you're a Topeka business, I want to encourage you to contact John Coop on their team. John will take care of you. And if you're a Lincoln business, please reach out to me directly, and we'll be happy to get you plugged in. So, Matt, what else do you want to mention?
I'm just going to say this. One is, again, this is the third time I said it. Super pumped about this. We have a couple things around our office. One is the JOMO, right? The joy of missing out. And sometimes we have the joy of missing out. There's also FOMO, and that's the fear of missing out. And this is a promise. If you are thinking about going and you don't, and when the Lincoln and Topeka contingencies come back and start talking about all the big things that they are going to do and the things that they learned, you will have FOMO. So I challenge you to get out there and do it. Do it for your community, but do it for your own professional development as well.
Yeah. Matt, thank you so much for being here with us today. I look forward to getting back down to Topeka and saying hi to you and your team soon.
And I can't wait to meet all my new friends from Lincoln when we're in Boise in July.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. This has been Jason Ball and Matt Pivarnik here at the AOI Podcast Studio in Lincoln, Nebraska.